It's worth saying, of course, the high immigration, which is supported by Treasury, also supported by big business, right? Because big business want more people to sell stuff to if you're actually in that end of the market, or you need more people to work in your business and you don't want to pay full wages, you want to pay lower wages. So there's a huge lobby in favour of this big Australia, big economy, et cetera, but it's interesting.
Always follow the money.
And anybody on the other side of the argument gets pilloried as racist or something similar, right? And even Tarek Brooker, who I would regard as one of the
straight shooter.
Yeah, straight shooter, and just calls the data, has been hit quite hard on Twitter recently because he actually called it out. So anybody who's on the other side of the argument.
Yeah, so, anyone if you want to go to Macro Business today, I actually slammed, Dr. Demography, Professor Liz Allen, who's calls herself a demographer, but it's just really a shill for Big Australia. She basically had a go at Tarek Brooker, who's a, bloody legend, quite frankly, but he's he's an honest guy, right? He's an independent. Like, there's not many truly independent economists out there, and he's one of them. Most of them are paid shills for some sort of industry, or they work in some lobbying capacity, some sort. They're paid from a, they work for the business council, whether they're paid for them, so they got to talk to the company in line, etc. Tarek's not one of those people, and he wrote a very straightforward, factual. I don't know how you can fault him on it, because I read the whole thing and I was like, where's the issue with this? And basically he said, here's what the 2002 intergenerational report had for GDP per capita growth, for population growth, and here's what we got instead.
Yep.
And he basically said that we hit the 2050 population target about 28 years early. And he didn't even say because they ran out. He just basically did a factual thing. And this Dr. Demography, Liz Allen person, basically said that, the article's a disgrace. People shouldn't, the media should not report these things unless they first talk to a demographer like her. Well, basically gatekeeping the discussion. And it was, bloody poor form. And luckily, about 50 people came out and slammed her for it and just said, say why he was wrong and argue the point. Don't go ad hominem, which is what she did.
Yep.
And, mate, I've copped this over and over again. Abel Rizvi, he's another one of these guys who just calls me racist, calls me whatever, has attacked me for years. And guess what? He's always wrong. He's always wrong on this stuff. And I've been hitting back, punching him back the last few weeks, just, picking apart his arguments, because he's another one of these guys who wants to gatekeep the discussion and basically talks down to anyone who wants to talk about these numbers factually. So Tarek copped it. I've been copping it for years, and it's a disgrace. We should be able to talk openly about this stuff. I don't see what is racist about talking about immigration numbers. Immigration is the everything issue. It's one of the reasons why I've got a bloody housing shortage. We're not attacking migrants, we're attacking excessive levels of immigration, which is basically what the government is doing. And this hurts the migrants the most. They actually tend to be, people who are obviously poorer because they don't have, family wealth, they haven't been here for long enough. They tend to come over here with not much. And they're the ones who get displaced the most when you run these huge immigration programs. So, the whole thing is just a farce. We should be allowed to talk openly about this stuff. And I've been doing it for years, and I've been copping it. Tarek copped it. It's not good enough. It shouldn't happen.
I agree. Well, anyway, one of the reasons why DFA is here is to try and have these debates, because the mainstream doesn't want to have them. The other point,
well, they don't want to have it because they're losing, and they're losing the narrative, and people like Tarek and I live rent free in their heads because they don't want smart people to actually question this stuff and actually have the data to back it up.
Yes.
So they're scared. So the easiest thing to do is just call someone racist. And to try and shut down debate. And that's what they've been, trying to do effectively. Playing the race card, or, playing or deferring to authority. You don't have the authority to talk on this. You're not a demographer. This sort of thing. So Liz Allen basically used the vibe, was her whole argument, whereas Tarek actually used hard fact and numbers.
Exactly.
And anyway, she went after the wrong target, basically.